Sorry. Oops.
Hello, 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 and welcome everybody to another episode of Latino World Travelers virtual travel party. We are so excited that you're here, and we cannot wait for you to see today's speaker. As always, we have a virtual travel party every month to make sure we showcase a Latino who's doing amazing things around the world. And every month we cover a different country and a different Latino. Our goal in Latino World Travelers is to make sure we cover all 195 countries and 195 different Latinos, so you can see yourself represented in the travel industry as a whole, but at the same time, be able to learn about how to travel to other countries, since most of our presenters either have traveled there or they actually live there, like is the case today. Today we have with us our amazing an amazing speaker. But before that, just a couple of housekeeping things. If you're in our Zoom, definitely turn on your cameras. We want to be able to see your beautiful faces. We are going to have a Q&A that will follow the presentation. So any questions that you have, you can either hold them until the end, or you can just write them in the chat or write them at the bottom here in our Instagram Live. Feel free to connect with the other people that are here as well. And you can also unmute yourself at the end of the presentation and ask the question yourselves, or you can just write it on the chat and I'll ask the question for you. All of the replays of all of our virtual travel are in our YouTube channel. So we already have over 50 episodes. Make sure you definitely watch them. They are amazing. Just like the one today is gonna be super incredible. And remember, you're here to learn, to have fun, and to learn from our own people, the perspective that they have on those beautiful countries that they travel to. And we are so grateful and super excited that we have this speaker here today. They are donating their time from there because they have a passion for travel, and we are excited that they're here as well. So today we have with us Johanna. Her Instagram handle is Johanna Patton, and she's gonna talk about life in the sunniest city of Germany. So you're in for a treat, and I cannot wait for you to see everything she has to say. So welcome, Johanna. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy. I don't know if you can hear me okay still, but I hope it's working all right.
I hear you perfectly.
Okay,
So
perfect. Yeah, so I just wanted
yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So I have so much to say. I don't know how to condense it down. So I'm Johanna. I'm a photographer, and I am from the US. I'm Mexican American. And I've been living in Germany for the past 2.5 years or so. And yeah, what do I do here? So like I mentioned, I'm a student. I study ethnology, which is basically the study of culture, which is like amazing. And yeah, in addition to that, I work at the intercultural mentoring program here at the university. And what I basically do is I help the international students who are coming from all over the world, who are going to Germany, and I try to help them just integrate into their lives a little bit better here in the country, because it's not always easy. Like, I think Germany is definitely one of those countries where, unlike, I don't know, Latin American countries, people can be a little bit more reserved, and it takes a little bit of time for people to get warmed up to you. And so my goal has always just been to, yeah, in some sense, like give somebody a kind of home whenever they're here. So I've been writing a series. It's called Hey Bus, and Hey Bus means what in English. And basically it's just my confusions that I've had since I came to Germany, because there have been seriously like so many things that have been so difficult to navigate just while I've been living here. And sometimes you can feel really, really alone also in that experience as well. So literally I just took like 10 different things I knew that I really struggled with myself and that I had to overcome. And I wrote about it, and I did Instagram stories and things like that. And fortunately, the university that I'm going to also published those. And so, yeah, that's just a little bit.
So, Johanna, how long have you been living in Germany, and where exactly do you live there?
Yes, I've been living here for 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years in the end of March next year.
That's
And
awesome.
um, yeah, it's crazy. I think, yeah, having an experience like this really, really changes you. And I always asked, like, everything, like, I always just wanted to be challenged and I always wanted to grow. And, I feel like that's definitely been answered because, oh my God, seriously, like, if you want some growth, like, go live in another country and see how you do after 2.5 years because it's not always easy.
What city do you live in over there?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes, so I'm living in Freiburg. It's in the very, very south. So it's in the southwest part of Germany. And it's a really nice area because it is the sunniest city in Germany. We have literally the most amount of days of sun in the entire country, which is awesome. And we're just like 45 minutes away from the French border and 45 minutes away from the Swiss border. So I'm from Kansas, like I mentioned, and it's just like a totally different world out here.
Tell us a little bit more about that. Like, what places have you been? Where do you recommend? Have you been around the country? Like, we want to know everything there is to know.
Okay, so yeah, I've done quite a bit of traveling. But I feel like more in Italy than I've actually done in Germany for some reason. And also because we're so, like, I live with my boyfriend, and since we're so close to the border, we're always like, oh, we can just go to like another country today. That'd be awesome. Let's just go like pop into France. So honestly, I mostly stay in kind of the Freiburg area, but if you just cross the border, you're in Strasbourg, which is like a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful town. I see a couple of my friends that are in here who also live in Freiburg, and they know exactly what I'm talking about because it is like the most picturesque place. Like, think of just like stereotypical France. Like, it's that. It's fantastic. And in addition to that, I'm also going to Basel a lot, which is in Switzerland, and that's another beautiful place. Um, and let's see, I haven't been to Munich yet, but I hear it's really, really beautiful. I've also, a couple of years ago, I went to um, yeah, different places in northern Germany. I've been to Berlin as well. But the nice thing about traveling, I think, is that every time you return to a new city, even if it's a city that you've been to before, I don't know, you see it in a different light, and it has a different, I don't know, sparkle to it every time you return
Absolutely.
back. So yeah, so that's been really, really interesting because I used to live in Spain a couple years ago. And so I did like a tour. I went to around 10 countries during that time. And during this time, since I've been here for 2.5 years, I've been returning back to those places, and cities just grow with you. So it's so nice, I think.
I can totally see that, like how a city can definitely grow on you. Now, you say you live in Freiburg? Freiburg?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yes.
what is there for people to see? Like, why would you recommend someone to go there, and what will they do there?
Okay, yeah. So there's a lot of things. First of all, yeah, like I mentioned, it's the sunniest city in Germany, so that's like just a reason in itself. Because I don't know about you, but I am such a sunshine type of person. And if I don't have the sun, I feel like, what's going on? I just always want to be close to the sunshine. I want to be able to go outside. And that's what's really nice about Freiburg is that we also have the Black Forest nearby. If you're in the center of the city, you literally see the Black Forest right there, which is just phenomenal. And I think for a place, I don't know, I think about this a lot, like how much nature influences your experience with, um, yeah, like your happiness in a city. And I feel like anytime you're able to get more nature into a city, I feel maybe it's just me because I'm from Kansas again. Like, I feel like city people maybe are a little bit different than I am.
Right,
But
right.
right. And I'm just not used to big cities. I'm really used to nature, and I feel a lot of peace there. Um, and I feel like Freiburg is that perfect city. So you have like tons of lakes nearby, just 10 minutes away from where I'm living. actually, not even. Like, my backyard is like a lake, and I live in an apartment right now, but there's lake after lake after lake, which is really nice. You have, yeah, you have the Black Forest right there. You can go on hikes any time of day. Yeah, it's so green, and not just in the sense of nature, but also in the sense of people's consciousness. And I think they've really do their best to make sure that the city is as eco-friendly as possible. And I really appreciate that, because I was always a person who dreamed, first of all, of moving to Europe. And I always had this dream, like this very, very specific dream of riding, and like riding my bike to the grocery store and going to the little bakery and putting, the pieces of bread into my little basket and like driving back home. And
I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Now you're actually living it.
Yeah, really, because everyone really, like, it doesn't make sense not to take your bike places. And in a lot of cases, I don't know, it's been interesting because I think you also experience life in a different way, and you experience the city in a different way whenever you are on your bike, because you just have that connection to the outdoors, the connection with people. You're not just hiding. Okay, hiding is a little bit exaggerated, but you're not just in your bubble in your car, and you know what I mean? Like, you have your things going on. No, when you're on your bike, you can look outside, you can wave to somebody, just like little things that happen that wouldn't typically happen if you were in a car.
Is
So I really
it
do
very
like that.
bike friendly though? Like, to drive it, do you feel like it's dangerous, or do cars respect the bikers?
Bikers rule Freiburg. So fear for your life. Do not get in the bike lane whenever you're here. Seriously though, like I really, really love that as well. The entire city, to my knowledge, is bike friendly. And you can even bike from city to city nearby. And so, yeah, like just about anywhere you go, you can hop on a bike and it's no problem to get to another place. And we do have a tram, but sometimes it's just faster to take your own bike. And cars, a lot of times I feel like it's not made for cars, so it's easier and faster to go with a bike than it is even with a car, which, like I mentioned, being from Kansas, I could never imagine that. But yeah, that's the way it is.
If you had to pick your top 3 restaurants, which ones will they be?
Okay. There is an Indian restaurant I think it's called Kashmir, and I love it. And then that's just like a 10-minute bike ride from my place. And then there's another one that's a little Italian place that's right in the center of the city, but like tucked away enough for it to be hidden and very, very quaint. And these men that work there are actually from Calabria in the south. And I have a host family from Calabria as well. And these people in the south are very like loving. They're always, using their hands to talk and ciao, bella. And, to find something like that also in Germany, I find really, really beautiful. And for the third one, I would have to say
definitely like off the beaten path kind of restaurant, right?
Do what? Sorry?
It's kind of like an off the beaten path restaurant because it's hidden.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the name of it again?
Oh my God, I think it's called like Bellonzino or something. I have to check it out because I don't ever remember the place. My boyfriend is half Italian, and we're just like, should we go to our Italian place? Yeah, let's go to our Italian place, and that's the end of it. But I'll check it.
That's
I'll check
awesome.
it out and let you know.
To a place so often that like they know you already. It's like family.
Yeah, it's so sweet. It's really so sweet. Yeah, and for a third one, they have a really big like yufka culture here, and a duna kebab culture. And apparently, okay, so some people call it Turkish, but it's not actually Turkish. But since the biggest minority, I believe, in Germany are the Turkish people, they came over here and they created, like tuna kebab stands. And if somebody from Germany is watching this and has better information than I do, please let me know. But yeah, I really, really like it. It's like fast food, but it's also really tasty and pretty cheap as well, which is nice. And yeah, it's also like another feeling. There's usually men from Turkey working there, and I don't know, you just like have the feeling like maybe I don't know, you still are in Germany, obviously, but you know, whenever people bring like pockets of their lives and cultures to another country and just make it feel really, really magical, I feel like that's the same thing. And I think that's the same thing with like all of the restaurants that I'm recommending, because I just find it really, really wonderful when people come and create their own world and share that.
It gives you the opportunity.
Yeah, I would say those are my three.
Travel to those countries without having to travel there because you're tasting their food.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
What is the actual authentic food from Germany? Is there something like that, or is all a mix of many different cultures?
Yeah, so there is definitely. I would have to ask my boyfriend to give me like a more concrete idea, but I would honestly say, oh my God, I hope nobody hates me for this. I would say potatoes, because potatoes are like everywhere. And every time my boyfriend wants to go get German food, he's like, oh, could really use some good like potatoes now, or like a schnitzel, for example. Or I know there's like Kartoffelpuffer, which is like potato puff, basically, and they have like a yummy sauce that comes with it. Yeah, schnitzel for sure. I would say. Oh, sorry, you have to come to Germany and eat now. But no, I would also say like currywurst as well is really typical. Yeah.
How is the nightlife there? Like, do you go out? Everybody parties, or is more like a loungy kind of scene?
Yeah, that's something that I've been trying to figure out, because I don't really go out myself. I know that a lot of people love to go out. There's a bunch of parties and stuff like that. And it's really funny because I feel like that's the time when a lot of Germans are able to warm up to other people, is whenever they've had something to drink. And I feel like Latinos aren't necessarily that way. So usually during the day, they're really reserved, really to themselves. You know, you really have to try to have a conversation with somebody. But it just doesn't always happen that way. And I feel like whenever you go to a party, it's finally somewhere where they feel like they can let loose enough to be able to have a conversation and to maybe joke around a little bit. Maybe I'm exaggerating, just because I don't have enough experience to say that. But from the people that I've spoken to already, they've told me that like beer definitely helps. And so,
what is the top beer there?
Probably Weizen and Pils. But again, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, I don't know. I don't drink beer, but I'm asking for the people on their behalf.
Yeah, I think, but again, there's still a lot I don't know about Germany. So,
now, what other cities have you traveled to within Germany, and what do you recommend people do when they go there? And also, what type of sorry, whoops, what happened there? What type of transportation do you recommend people take when they're traveling outside to these different cities?
That's a good question. Yeah, so I think I've heard a lot about Munich, and I've heard Bayern in general is very, very beautiful, and that there's a lot of hikes that you can go to. You can, have just like really, really nice nature there as well. But as far as cities go, I haven't been to Munich yet, but I hear it's very, very, very nice. And the nice thing about Germany, I feel like, is that you can always take the train with no problem, and you can also use the bus as well. Whenever I was traveling around, when I lived here several years ago, when I was living in Spain, and I was also in Germany during that time, I used the bus, and it's usually really cheap. It's usually I mean, it's nothing like the buses I feel like in the States, because I've taken a couple of bus trips in the States, and those are pretty sketchy. I mean, they can get really, really funky. Yeah. And, you know, they just like take a long time, and yeah, I don't know, they kind of give me the heebie-jeebies. But in Germany, that's not a problem. I love that you can also take the train with no problem. Honestly, I don't really see there being a huge reason why somebody would need a car here, because you can always get around with public transportation. And I will say you should also see Berlin, because it's just, it's been a while, like I mentioned, but it's really got something, you know. If you go into maybe like the fancier area of Berlin, you walk around with somebody who really knows it well, they'll take you to places just nearby, but are totally like more alternative and very, just like a really cool art scene to go to. And I feel like to have those two worlds so close to each other is also really interesting.
What are the fancier areas in Berlin? Do you remember which ones they are?
I don't remember the names of them. I luckily had like my friend who used to live in Kansas. He was an exchange student for 1 year, and then he took me around for the day. And so I said, okay, you have complete control. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of fancy places. I'll have to look it up as well, and then I can let you know.
Good. So you said you have some pictures that you're going to show us. Do you want to do that now?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
All right. So she's going to share her screen, guys, and I'm going to put it facing the other way so you can see.
Okay, so I just double tap, no? Ta-da! No, I don't know if that's working. No, share the screen on the computer. Right, sorry. Okay, let's see. So I just have a couple of pictures that I pulled up from the town that I'm living in. Sorry, just a second. I always have problems with Zoom. Okay, so.
We're so excited to see your pictures.
Okay, share screen, here we go. So Freiburg, Münster. Yeah, so can you see this okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this is the cathedral in the center of the city. And this is what I talked about when I said that you can see the Black Forest from there. So this is very, very, very center, the most known cathedral of the entire city. And yeah, you can just like honestly take a little hike up here. This is a beautiful viewpoint. And the cathedral itself is just stunning. You can also see here in the background that there's, for me, they're mountains. And it really, really is. And it's honestly, this photo doesn't even do it justice, because they have a really nice farmer's market. Let me see. Yeah, that gives you kind of an idea. But yeah, there's this farmer's market that goes on almost every day. And you can go here, and a lot of people go there regularly just to pick up their vegetables or to pick up a bouquet of flowers and things like that. And that honestly gives me, really, every single time I come here, I think, oh my God, I'm really living in Europe. And there's just a couple more. It's really, really nice. And then we also have these little things in the city center called Bächle. And they're essentially little canals that run through the city, as you can see. And the legend says that if you fall into one of these, you'll marry a Freiburger. And so anytime you go around them or you're close to like falling in, people will, I don't know, oh, don't do that, you're going to marry a Freiburger, blah, blah, blah. But it's really cute because, and here, like a bunch of little kids go into these as well. And also during the summer months, it's really, really nice because you have these little boats that kids use, and they put them in there, and they just decorated, and you just see little kids playing all the time with these things. And I think that's so fun because previously I believe it was a thing to carry out waste from the city, and now it's just something that people enjoy on a hot day and that you can have a little bit of fun with, which is really, really nice.
That's so cool. I love it. It's very family friendly kind of thing.
Yeah, it really, really is. Let's say Freiburg biking. Maybe it'll give you an idea. Okay, so bikes are everywhere. How normally we have big parking lots filled with cars? Just imagine every single one of those cars being a bike instead. Because honestly, also this is a super, super typical scene. I often have no idea how people do it because mothers and fathers are just amazing. They always, not always, but usually they take their child in one of these. And this woman here has, I think, a child strapped to her chest, which I've never seen that before, but okay, it happens. And it's hard because the thing is, you need a lot of energy, I feel like, to be able to bike yourself everywhere. And not only are they doing it with their own body weight, but they have two or a child with them as well. Yeah, so you see that a lot. Yeah, it's Fahrradstraße, so this means bike street, and you see all these everywhere, truly. And let me see, maybe Schwaben. Oh, actually, Martinstor and Schwabentor. So we also have these really, really beautiful towers in the city. And I just think they're so picturesque. I don't really have a lot to say about them except for they're absolutely beautiful. Yeah, they just really bring a lot of character into the place. And yeah, I just love that. And perhaps I can also...
Is that where you took the picture that you sent us? I know you sent us 5 different pictures.
Yeah, I think it's this one. Because there's 2 different ones and it could be this one. Yeah. But it's really, really quaint. Again, this is right in the center of the city. And yeah, it's just beautiful. Actually, I know of another place I should, Konvigstraße. And this is just another really, oh man, I'm sorry, it's not that great of a photo.
I'm taking so many notes. I'm filling up a whole page with everything.
Yeah, this place is really, really, really nice. It just has a bunch of different restaurants down here, and during the springtime is really when you should go because these are filled with beautiful, beautiful, beautiful purple flowers. And I have no idea what the flowers are called. They're these ones that look a little bit like a waterfall, and they're just hanging. They kind of like grapes almost, but just hanging from these branches. And it's, wow, really, really something.
Must be really spectacular.
And then, yeah, it is. You'll see it all whenever you come, don't worry. And I was also going to put, what was it that I was going to look up? No, I have to think. Kaiserstuhl. And this is a place that's nearby as well. This is just I don't know, I think 30 minutes away or something. And all of these are vineyards. So we're actually known for making wine in this area as well. somebody I also went to German class with was learning German. She was from Japan. Oh my God, she was from Japan, sorry. And she was learning how to, become a winemaker essentially. So I thought that was so cool. Like, what more awesome job could you have? And so, you can just go over here and it's
What's your favorite German
beautiful.
wine?
Oh my God. And I don't know. I really don't know. I'll drink anything. I'm so sorry. But I'm sure there's lots of good ones in the area. I think Spätburger or something like that. Spätgründer. Yeah, maybe it's this one. Maybe. I feel bad I don't know all the answers to your questions.
No worries. We're here to learn, and you're giving us information that we want to learn. You said you have pictures in your Instagram,
Awesome.
right? Too.
Yes, let me take a look and see. Okay, let's see. So this is just like a typical day walking around, and then you see something like this, which for me, again, coming from Kansas, is just not something that you're used to seeing.
Wow.
So that's really, really special. It's just normal, you know? Actually, there's something I also wanted to show you, and it's the cemeteries. Because they're beautiful. They're so, I mean, how cool is that? They're just, I don't know. I just love them. Yeah, and I think also the thing with the cemeteries is that they really, in some sense, like honor the space that's there. And so they want to make sure that that it feels good, that it feels peaceful, and a lot of times you see people plant, not just bringing like fake flowers or something like that, but they really plant trees and plant things that will grow over the course of time. And I think that's so special because really, I mean, if you think about it, it would be nice if it was a place of peace and that you felt rest and you felt serenity. And because if you're going to visit your loved ones, then those are all the things that I would want to feel. And in Kansas, at least, I mean, our cemetery is actually close to a highway. So if you go to a cemetery, you can hear the cars on the highway, and it's just not the same feeling. And so whenever you go here, I just, honestly, I would think that I would even just spend time there just to be there because it's truly so beautiful. So that's really special as well. But let me see if there's a couple more pictures. I tend to put a lot of photos of Italy on here, but let me see if there's a couple also from Germany. So this is, oh no, that's from Strasbourg. This is from Strasbourg, the city that I was telling you about in France.
So beautiful.
And so that's 40 minutes away, and it's an easy day trip just to go to France. And it's really, really, really beautiful. There's a nice river nearby, and I just love the architecture. It's something that you don't see in Kansas, in the States. You know, if you just walk around and like see all the little details that they have here, it's remarkable. That's in Cologne, which is also really nice. Not day trip from Freiburg, but it's really nice place to see. Let's see.
Sorry. How far is that city?
Cologne.
Cologne. Mm-hmm.
From Freiburg, maybe like 5 hours or something like that. So it's still, you know, and if we think about how far it takes to travel from place to place in the States, it's honestly no big deal. But it's beautiful. And I really love places that have different colors, different colored buildings next to each other. I think it's so happy and just, gives you a really nice feeling to be in. So that's nice. Let me see if there's any
And it's
more.
just completely different from what you normally see. Like this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is also in Cologne. And I really love that they have these things as well, because on a lot of the old buildings, they have, I don't know, these kinds of, I can't even, they're not like signs, but kind of. They're just so unique and intricate. And I think it's something that's so special to maybe just, I don't know, at least to Germany, probably to Europe as well. But this is a whale right here. And, like, it's so magic, I think, to be able to walk around and to just glance to the side and see another cathedral nearby. Yeah, I think that's so special. This is also in Strasbourg, isn't it? No, Bentheim. So this is on the way to Cologne, essentially. And it's just a little town. But, all of these places here have so many flowers. You just honestly feel like you're walking in a movie. It's crazy.
It almost looks like a cookie house or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like a fairy tale. Yeah, exactly. Let me see. Maybe there's more. This is also in Strasbourg, which is interesting because actually it used to be part of Germany, I believe. And so all of the architecture is, not all of the architecture, but some of the architecture is German, just like this one. And now it's part of France. So some of those areas as well are also named, or have German names instead. And so, yeah, that's pretty cool as well. And it's beautiful. I mean, this is just a little walk around.
So it's very Instagrammable, I will say.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah. And then this is another one from Freiburg. So yeah, it's really, really, really beautiful. And very international, I have to say that, because there's so many internationals that come to the city, and from all different places of the world. So whenever you're walking down the street, I love that you're able to hear Arabic, German, French, English, this language, that language, Hindi, and it just makes, I don't know, I have a lot of appreciation for people who decide to come together and live together and in peace, and I feel like Freiburg is definitely a place where people, maybe not everybody feels that, obviously, but a lot of people are able to find some kind of safety net in this city as well, which I think is great.
That is so awesome. People are telling you that is so pretty. They definitely want to come visit.
Yeah,
So all of us are gonna come visit you.
Absolutely, come and join. It is a lot of fun. Yeah, and it's just beautiful. Okay, now we're getting into pictures of India and stuff. So I'll go back, stop share. Yes.
I really like also how you post your pictures. Are you a photographer? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I am a photographer. I do a couple of different things. I'm back in the States. I worked as a portrait photographer, and that's the way I was able to earn money to go to travel. And I am so lucky because I think it's the best job in the world. You literally just go hang out with people and make them feel beautiful and great about themselves. And you just have a good time and create art with each other, which I think is just awesome. And I've made a lot of really good friends from that as well. But since I also was in Asia for 6 months, I did a solo backpacking trip. I did a lot of documentary style photography there as well. And so now I'm working on something called the Together Project, which is basically a project that highlights the similarities that we share as human race and also honoring the differences that we have from each other. And so that's like a really, really big passion project of mine as well, because I feel like it's so important to have representation of different parts of the world, to know that we're not as different as what we may think that we are from one another, and just to love each other, because honestly, at the end of the day, all we want is to be happy, right? Like, no, like who in the world is even, okay, I won't say his name, but there's a lot of people who,
I saw where you were
at the
going.
end of the day, yeah. But honestly, like, who doesn't want joy? Who doesn't want happiness? Who doesn't want to feel more connected to one another? And because this is a travel conversation, I will say a lot of people did discourage me from going to Asia as well. And a lot of people thought bad things would happen to me, and oh, that this is going to happen, that that's going to happen, and it's not safe. And okay, sure, you have to be careful wherever you go, but that's no different from, I feel like, going to Paris. You got to wash your back. Just don't be stupid. People, just take care of yourself and everything's going to be fine.
Exactly.
And so, right? And so when I went, like I mentioned, a lot of people said, oh, that I shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. But for me, it was so important to show them that everybody's just human. And what I found out from that experience was that people are so much more loving than you will ever imagine. Like people, like I hitchhiked across the country by myself in Myanmar, no cell phone, no water, no nothing, no money, like nothing. And I thought, if I end up sleeping, in a field at the end of the night, whatever, like, let's see what happens. It's going to be fine. And that's not what happened. Like, somebody came up, they gave me everything that I needed. They took me to the place I needed to go. And honestly, it was no problem. Like, people just wanted to share and give to one another, And so I know the the question was photography, but photography was a way that I was able to capture those moments and capture that magic that I felt, and that people, the kindness and goodness that people were able to give to me, and be able to share that with people back home. Because I think we don't know how do I want to phrase this? We're very quick to judge places and people that we don't know. But if we have some kind of connection, any kind of connection to the other part of the world, people are more willing to give those people in those countries a chance. And so that experience completely changed my life. That's why I also am very, 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 I don't know. I'm just passionate to, create imagery that like reflects the country, reflects the people. But also I know, I don't know. I think us as travelers as well, we have the chance to be able to share all of that good with people back home. And it's just really important to me.
And that's why, in a way, I created Latino World Travelers, because I'm like, when I go out there, I don't see Latinos. One, why is that happening? And two,
exactly.
I'm like, most times it's because our families get involved and deter us from going, which was your situation. They scared the shit out of us.
Mm-hmm.
And or it is because we don't have the knowledge. Like, we just only see what the media says about those countries.
Yes.
So
yes.
I am the kind that says, I want to see it with my own eyes, and then create an idea of what that country or those people are based on my own experiences. Que no me digan. I just want to know it by myself, see it with my own eyes, experience it myself. So
exactly.
Yo quiero ir a todo el mundo, porque what they shot TV is not enough for me. I want to see it myself.
No, absolutely. That's so, so, so important. And I think whenever we do that, again, we're also able to show the world that people aren't scary. They're not, like, people just want to love each other as well, They want to feel connected. That's why Instagram is a whole thing, because we want to feel connected to people. We want to feel that people are have similar interests, that are going through different things. And, I don't know, just go do it. Like, that's why I admired this group so much, because like I mentioned, I have 4 little brothers. The youngest brother just turned 8 years old a couple of weeks ago. And every time I go back home or every time I talk to him on Zoom or whatever, he's like, hey, Nana, when are we going to India? Hey, Nana, is this the Eiffel Tower from Paris, France? And he's 8 years old, but he already has that curiosity. And he's not fueled with fear and with rage. He's filled with curiosity. He's like, I want to see everything because my big sister has. And that's the reason I travel. And that's the reason, like, I think most people, I mean, okay, I'm not trying to like put everybody into a box, but I feel like whenever we're brave enough to do that, then generations and generations will continue to have that same bravery. And that's where change happens, because honestly, I can't tell you how much my mind has been expanded because of my experiences just traveling. Like, whenever I was in Colorado, no, not in Colorado, in Chicago, my grandma took me and I met this man, and he just was having a nice conversation with me. I was there to get my Spanish visa. And he said, you know what? You will never be the same after you travel again. And I was like, what? Why? How? When? What are you talking about? You will never be the same. I can't tell you how. Just trust me. And oh my God.
You feel the transformation already, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like,
so we're going to open it up for questions. Guys, if you have any questions, write it in the chat, or you can unmute yourselves and ask the questions. If you're here on Instagram Live, definitely write in the comments any questions that you have about Germany. So we have Johanna here, who's going to share with us everything we need to know about Germany and why she's so passionate about traveling and capturing people's lives and history just in a photograph. So please ask the questions in the chat. I have questions. What time of the year do you recommend people travel there? Like, what's your favorite season in Germany?
I think spring is a very, very, very nice season. And summer can be really, really nice as well. There's only like 2 weeks in August that you shouldn't come because it's way too hot and there's almost no air conditioning over here.
Which ones?
in August. So maybe the last 2 weeks of August or the middle weeks. But it is too hot to handle. And I'm not used to it again because being from Kansas, we have air conditioning everywhere. And I was always so confused why people don't get air conditioning. Like, what the heck is everybody doing? Everybody's on the tram sweating and, oh my God, they can't handle it. So what we end up doing during that time is just go to a lake and going swimming. So that's fine too. But yeah, I would say spring, most of summer is fine as well. And fall is also really beautiful because of the trees.
Absolutely. Guys, please, if you have any questions about Germany, make sure you write them in the chat, any questions you may have. Now, when you travel from the United States to Germany, how much are usually the flights?
Man, it really depends. I usually spend about $700, I think. But I have friends who have spent, I think, honestly, if you go to Frankfurt, probably from New York or something, you can easily spend $500 for a round trip flight. So really, really, like $250 per way. That's insane. So I would say, yeah, if you're really, really lucky and if you've done a lot of research and everything, then you can definitely spend, I think, around $500 with no problem. But you really have to look. So.
Let's see. I feel like I'm missing something. Like, I took so many notes, like for real. I'm not even joking. But I'm like, I feel like I want to take so many more notes, and I'm like, I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything.
Oh my goodness. Well, anytime you have any questions, feel free to message me. I'm really, really happy to help you in any way possible. My dad's on here. You want to go? He says, I want to go. Yeah, you need to.
We all want to go.
Yeah, it's really, really, really lovely. I'm really happy to be here now. Really, it's very, very nice. Now when we're actually in lockdown, it's not that serious of a lockdown right now, but I love that the government really, really takes care of its people. That yeah, you just don't have to worry about some things that you would have to worry about in other countries. So that's always a plus in my opinion.
Absolutely. So I guess if no one has any questions, then I guess we're gonna end it here. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to keep going. So, but
well,
just
thank
a
you
couple
so much.
of housekeeping things so people are informed. Let me just share the screen. Please conéctate con nosotros. We have an exclusive Facebook group that we share resources, and we're always chatting about the latest news in travel. We're sharing pictures and we're sharing our experiences. So definitely connect with us in our Facebook group. On Instagram, also connect with us if you are watching us on Zoom. Follow us on Instagram, because there we spotlight Latinos that are traveling all over the world. And this way you could feel represented and inspired to get to new destinations. So we also have a giveaway, which we're gonna post right now. Every month we partner with a Latino business, and we do a giveaway to honor and bring traffic to their business. So this way we can support each other. So definitely go to our Instagram so you can sign up for our giveaways. And if you want to give us a contribution, you know, we bring you these events free of charge, but we always welcome any donations. You can send us some donations to paypal.me/Latino World Travelers, or you can support us by purchasing our merchandise. We have so many beautiful like sweaters, crop tops. We have our great insulated bottles that are fantastic for travel. So that's one way you can support us as well, simply by shopping in our store. And we are really looking forward to having another one next month. So the first Thursday of every month, we have a different virtual travel party. And the next one, we're gonna cover West Virginia, because we're always covering different countries, but there are some times when we cover different states that are usually not at the forefront of people when they're thinking of travel. But if you know me, I want to visit all 50 states, and I'm already at 33. Awesome. So I want to bring you on that journey as well. And I'm going to show you also where are Latinos traveling within the United States, because the United States is a beautiful country. Despite everything that's going on, it is still a beautiful country, and it has so much to offer. And when you think of traveling to Virginia, you only think about the Virginia where the beach is, right? But you never think about West Virginia. So we're going to show you next month. So mark your calendars. Let me see exactly what's the date for next month. I completely, let me see, December 3rd. So December 3rd, mark your calendars, because we're gonna bring you another virtual travel party about West Virginia. And un millón de gracias. We're really looking forward to seeing you in our social media platforms. Thank you so much, Johanna, again, for being here, for giving us all this information and inspiring us to continue to travel. Oh my God. You're like a firecracker, and you fire me up. Like, awesome. My shirt says Wanderlust. And I'm like, the fact that we can't travel right now as much as we wish, you know, because I want to make sure I keep safe. But I am so excited that you came here and you share your experience living in Germany. And we wish you many blessings while you live there, so you continue exploring that entire area in Europe. And I hope to come to visit you.
Yeah, please do. My apartment's tiny, but we can make some space if you want. Have a great rest of your day. Take care, and thank you so much for what you're doing on this platform. It's really, really inspiring, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Thank you. Besos and adios, chicos.
Adios.